Hello guys. What's up? What's up? How you doing? How is everyone feeling? Guys, it's
Great,
been a long
great.
year.
Yeah.
It's been a long year and we're just counting down to the new year. And yeah, what have you made of this year, rugby wise, both locally and internationally?
Um, I don't know, but locally, uh, I would give credit to Hippos in the sevens.
Okay.
There are two teams basically in locally this year in rugby. Hippos coming out until going out to win the national sevens.
Yes.
I mean, where not so many people expected, where you have household names like Hobbs, Heathens, Buffaloes, and Pirates. But of course, far away from eastern Uganda, crossing the River Nile and coming to take that is something quite so spectacular. And the journey basically started way from Toro. That is where all the unfolding of these big teams came up with. But then, of course, when you go to the National League, definitely the Heathens going unbeaten is something that you not.
Ruben, I think that was huge, man.
It was so huge. It's something that you can't go without noticing it. With all the challenges coming out of 2 years of the pandemic lockdown, COVID, with the challenges of no finances, left, right, center, players not playing rugby for 2 solid years, and then a club goes boom, plays, takes the league without being beaten, home and away. I think I give credit to Chadondo management.
Shout out to those
And
guys.
and internationally, as I crown it up, unfortunately, I was disappointed by my ladies. I thought maybe the rugby sevens, I thought the ladies would work so hard to see that we also go to World Cup, but losing against Tunisia in the semi-finals, I mean,
By the way, you guys, those games happened on a weekend when we had rugby. So
Yeah.
we're following online, I think.
exactly. But of course, the rugby sevens, the national team, I mean, a big shout out to them. From the Africa Sevens, going to Commonwealth Games, the Challenger Series. For me,
Sarah,
I think it's
I
much.
think
who
Africa
was yours?
Sevens. Africa Sevens remains my best rugby experience for
Yeah.
the time that I've watched rugby. I think it was greatly prepared. Day two had a bit of a rain fest, but people didn't want to know.
Guess what? I think
It was
Chairman
amazing.
Local Organizing Committee Philip Chiboijana should pick his flowers. Oh, we have a big flower here. It's Christmas mode. Philip,
Christmas
So
flowers.
you
This flower
want
is
you want
dedicated to
Philip
you,
to
man.
take a Christmas deco.
We are dedicating
But you
this.
see, guys,
this deco to him,
before
man.
we even praise Philip alone,
Yeah.
I think I would also love to recognize the fourth estate. If me and you guys, Ruben and Joe, if you remember at Chadondo, the massive turn up of the fourth estate. I mean, guys coming from as far as the up country to come and cover rugby, and Chadondo was filled up from people from different walks of life, culture and everything being spread, and this goes back to the fourth estate, and you would really love to give credit to them, and how I wish would continue like this throughout. I think 5 years down the road, I would see maybe rugby even surpassing football in the country.
I pray. Guys, Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah.
Ruben, what are your most fond memories of this special day? How do you celebrate Christmas, man?
Christmas. I've become a Grinch of late. I don't really celebrate a lot. I actually be working a lot. It gets a lot more busy. But I have fond memories from childhood. That whole decoration kind of setup, like everyone is involved. You have to do this, help your mom with this, getting the tree, not these plastic trees of these days.
Yeah.
That original tree where they cut, you have to carry it into the house, figure out where it can balance, then also pushing into 31st where you have to get it out and burn it. Back in the day when we still had a lot of curfew, I think that was the one day you were allowed to be out at midnight.
You guys were
By
actually
the
being
Ruben,
let
talking
out.
about curfew, do you know that we used to have curfew those days when we were growing up?
Guys,
Yeah,
I
this
still
That was
I
don't
curfew,
know.
think I have
man.
curfew, man.
And
That curfew was
they can
terrible.
call you alarmingly, like, what time are you coming home? Do you know how late it is? Meanwhile, it is like 5 p.m. And they're already telling you how you're a disgrace to whatever
Curfew is
for
already
coming
there.
home
Guys,
so late.
The
I don't know.
LDUs who are your mothers and your fathers are
I don't know
coming
about
for
you guys, man, but for me is for some reason Christmas I've never eaten any meal on time. Like it's just that day where the meals just alternate. Breakfast can come in at like so after church breakfast, because we never used to eat before church. You get So breakfast comes in at like 10, and we're already eating sampling chicken. You know what I mean? Like what's ready is what we are sampling.
Yeah.
So lunch would come definitely after 1 p.m. And man, after eating that food, I just want to sleep, man.
Mine one founding moment I quite remember quite so well. One time we're in Bali by then, because my parents used to work in Bali. My dad was a military officer and my mother was a teacher in Bomagene Army Barracks Primary School. And may their souls rest in eternal peace. So I escaped from home.
Yes, be closer.
I escaped from home. I go to watch a movie. We didn't
Netflix and
you
chill.
guys, you don't want to hear my story.
Before Netflix.
I went to Gwe in Bugema. Anyone who grew up in Mbale knows what Bugema was by then. Around 2004, 2005.
Shout out to our Mbale people who watch our podcast.
So,
we love you.
So I go to Bugema barracks, town, to go and watch a movie. So Ruben, I was there. Me, I didn't know it was already time, curfew time. It was already 7:30 p.m. And you know the rules of the barracks is very clear. You go late, you do not enter.
Wow.
So I reach the barracks like this. I get these RPs. We call them RPs. They're like, you, Afande has been looking for you the whole day. Where have you been? My dad was the captain. Afande PO is going to kill you today. Do you know they caned me? They told me, you know what? You have to frog jump. You have to do what? It was coming to 8 p.m. My mother was busy looking for me. I reached home. They first gave me to eat properly, and then my mother gave me the beating I've never seen. Since then, I never went out.
I even first let you eat. Like,
Guys,
you know, we have to make sure she's
like,
okay.
there was nothing wrong.
Guys, these stories can't end. I think we should start with the intros. Special guest on the podcast today, Ruben. We have Sarah Adong from New Vision.
Yeah.
Woo! Happy to have you, man.
Thank
Sarah,
you so much.
Is it your first time coming?
Yeah.
Yes, it is our first
Yes.
time.
So Sarah,
It's my first time and I'm very excited. And I love it when I sit with the gentlemen on a show, on a set like this. It makes the super lady of me come out.
yes, because ideally Sarah is always the one doing this is not an interview per se, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
You're usually the one taking the lead, but now
So
you
this
are
time I'm
being
being
hosted.
hosted.
You're a guest.
It's a
The
privilege.
guest of honor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And where is the soda for the guest of honor? It's Christmas.
You want
Yes.
soda?
Yeah, Fanta. You know
We're going to
my
let
brand
the
is
people
Fanta. Don't you remember? You know, meet me at Chadondo,
Yeah.
or you meet me at Kings Park. The only thing I can take is only Fanta.
Only
Yeah.
Fanta.
Yeah.
We're going to send
So
for
guys-
one of the guys here called Humphrey to get you a soda.
Okay, please.
Yeah, we are very, very hospitable here at the Fred and Winnie B&B.
Thank you.
Yes. So Winnie is a journalist.
Sarah.
Please,
Sarah
why-
Adong.
before we
Excuse
go
me,
very
do you
further.
I was
have a
thinking
girlfriend
about-
called Winnie?
Yes,
I was thinking
why are you thinking
Why
about
am I
Winnie?
thinking about Winnie?
I mean,
Why did you sleep
it's,
last
it's
night?
where we
Before we
are
do
right
anything,
now.
tell us
we
about
are
Winnie.
at Fred and Winnie Airbnb. So they are the people who host us and give us the space. So to tell you about them, they are located in Chisasi and they have 10 self-contained private bedrooms consisting of 2 deluxe double, 3 standard double, 1 deluxe twin and 2 standard twin bedrooms.
Okay.
Each comes with a fully equipped kitchen, power backup system, Wi-Fi, laundry services, a chef to cater for your needs. Guys, it's holiday time. You want your meals prepared to perfection.
So if I don't go to Zombo for Christmas, I can
Please.
have something special?
we have rooms here. After the podcast,
By the way,
feeling
guys,
tired?
I've ever gone to Zombo.
Nope.
I need to take you guys. Where
so
Aaron of
a
Orlok
sumptuous
comes from.
buffet breakfast with a choice of selected tropical fruits and juices. Pick up and drop off to and from Entebbe International Airport, as well as local transportation for getting around the country, can be arranged if booked in advance.
Okay.
So hold at the contact 07789 33559. 07789 33559. So
Yeah,
guys,
the fat cats have a couple of
I want
offers
to
for
have
them.
that treat with Ruben.
Oh,
guys,
whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. I actually didn't have Christmas plans. I was shocked this week. I'm like, wait, next week is Christmas week. I'm like, where has this year been running to?
I've not bought a Christmas tree for my house.
Ruben can help you with that. Anyway, guys,
I don't even know where
very
they
many
buy
games
stuff
happened over
from.
the weekend, and we had games were scattered.
Yeah.
There were games happening at Chadondo, Kings Park, and Legends. So, going into the scores at Chadondo, Impis was hosted by the Stallions, and Impis came out triumphant. That was in the semi-final of the Shield Cup. Elsewhere at Legends, Warriors hosted the Mbara Titans.
Yeah.
They also came out triumphant. shout out to Mbara Titans for participating, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
really
are
applaud
massive.
them for making those journeys back
Yeah,
to back
we
weekends.
appreciate your
Logistically, it's
enthusiasm.
not funny.
On the field, they play excellent rugby. You can see their coach is good. You could see from the instructions you were sending on that he has that rugby awareness and stuff like that. Then
Don't forget to talk about
Please,
the
please the
Runyankore
women.
haka.
No,
Yeah.
please, the women.
yes, tell us about the women.
I know you want to jump, but you see, you it would be so bad. People say now, Super Lady, you sat on the set with men, but you could not talk about. But one thing for me, I didn't feel a little bit kind of comfortable is the ladies from Lira Matrix. Yeah, the fact that the Chadondo ladies, the Thunderbirds, really walloped them 110 points. The girls are really so young.
Where was
guys.
that game?
On Saturday.
Where?
It was at Chadondo.
Wait, 100 and what points?
110.
It's actually unfortunate how
Do you know young girls?
But before even we go into that, how the media let's say doesn't give as much attention to the ladies, because this is also the first time I'm hearing about that, and a score like 110 should be something that should be spoken about. But I hope they did not use all their points in the semi-final.
I think Ruben,
because they
for
have
me,
a hard final coming
the
up.
blame also goes out to the media personalities
Yes.
at the union handling women rugby. You see, one time I had a discussion with Lunyolo, and I was quite very open with her and the Denise Namale, and I hope they don't take this too personal, because sometimes Ugandans take things too personal. I told them, when men are playing, you people at the union put so much emphasis on the men's game.
That's so true.
And when the women are playing, there's age grade rugby. Actually, the people who are never given so much media attention are the age grade rugby, the young guys, boys and girls, and then the women playing rugby. Now, in such a situation, that was the semi-final, for crying out loud. Thunderbirds, being the host of hosting Lira Matrix, if you look at these girls, there are girls that's age of 15 years, 16, 17, very young, but being paired against a team that has 6 to 7 to 8 national team
Is
players.
that even legal? Because I remember...
For me, it is not legal.
I remember with the men, I don't know if the rules changed, but with the men, you could not play in the Super 8 at the time, or what is the Super 10 right now? You could not play until you were 18. Anyone below 18 was considered still age grade and still young. First of all, you can't even sign a contract. You're still a minor. So how are you playing?
I did it, Ruben.
I don't know how they pair those people together.
I looked at these girls by the virtue of their look, even if I didn't ask for their age, because I also just bumped into game. I'd gone to Chadondo to eat chigere. I wanted to eat some chigere before crossing over to Legends. So then I get these young girls. Then I asked someone, "What are these young girls doing here?" Then they said there's rugby. I said, "Okay, now which rugby?" That women. I said, "Guys, come on. When are we going to value women rugby?" So that's a challenge we have. But of course, there was that semi-final. The Thunderbirds really beat, and we give shout-outs to the Lira Matrix team that traveled all the way from northern Uganda, and they honored the fixture. And you know what? They arrived that day in the morning at 6 a.m. They traveled the whole night from Lira, 6 to 7 hours in the night, and then they arrived in the morning, and then the next day they had to play. I mean, basically, they didn't even have the feel of the pitch. Yes, on game day.
That's sad, man.
It's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah.
I think something needs to be done.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
Guys, so sad stuff. But moving on, there was rugby at Kings Park.
Yeah.
Where Pirates thumped Rhinos 30-8. That semi-final. I don't know much, but shout out to one of my boys, Gavin Mutara, moved to Rhinos. Started at fullback.
It was interesting to see. A very, very interesting game.
But you see, there's something going on at Rhinos. They have trusted the young guns. There is an 8th man called Jeremy Tembo. Very strong with the ball in hand. Drives very many meters. Once he bites down on that mouth guard, you're going to stop him very, very many meters. He played for the under-20s. And yeah, then guys, to the big one. I don't know what you guys made of this game, but I've never watched a game like this in Ugandan rugby. A game of the century.
The century, perhaps.
Everyone that watched it says that. I personally didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
Sarah,
I watched Pirates.
I can't tell
what
you
did you
story.
think? What did you think of Cobb's Heathens?
I didn't watch it, but
going into the game.
Of course, it's all the Lions Cup has always been very, very tight between those two. Of course, starting from the banter earlier on in the week and everything that was happening, and trying to get a glimpse of it on NBS when I was going to maybe refresh my drink. at Kings Park. But it's over time, it has always been a game that is never obvious.
Sarah,
Yeah.
tell us what happened on that day, man.
Ruben,
Mm-hmm.
that game, if I start telling the story of that game, perhaps I'll need a full crate of Fanta next to me and maybe a flask of tea. However, I'm going to make it a little bit short. It is a game that produced a lot of goosebumps on all our bodies, both camps. You understand?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, one thing I must appreciate is the turn up of the fans was good, was superb. Honestly speaking, the discipline of the fans, yes, was also superb. I think for me, the unfolding in that game, the match officiation, kind of, there are some errors. Our assistant referee, particularly in that matter, I felt did not help Rosenberg quite so well, because we had cases where players went on into. I felt like they went overboard rugby, playing the game of rugby, but they went into, like, you see, you are fighting combatant kind of sport, and you find in a case where a center referee is quite far away from to see that incident, and I felt like the assistant referee should be down. Like, there's an incident, George Adong, Aredo was down. Aredo was calling for help, but the referee was quite far away, and the assistant referee was nowhere to even help. Now, in a situation where, supposing the attack or the injury was so severe where you have a concussion, what would have happened that day? There were quite 3 incidences. I also remember the incidents of Nicolas Kato,
Yes.
the one of Heathens,
Yes.
where I don't remember the name of that player of Cobbs who hit him on the neck here. And I felt that guy should have been given a card straight away because it was a high tackle, and it was intended. But this all goes back to the assistant referees. How are they on line of duty and very responsible enough to help the center referee?
Sarah, I think there is calls that are always going to go wrong. Yes?
Yeah.
However, how we handle it going into the next game. Let's not forget that these referees always have sit-down sessions and reviews for the previous games, and they go over the game, look at those contentious calls and that. But what we aim for and what we expect from the fans is we expect better officiation, and I hope they've taken that into account.
Yes, and another thing, perhaps maybe to add on a little bit there, these 2 teams actually has proven to Uganda that they are the best rugby clubs in the country. Honestly speaking, if you, with respect of other teams, of course, because that was a test match. Me and you, the 3 of us on set here, none of us had expected that game to go all that hours. Yeah,
guys, for the
record, were playing
for
safe.
The record, at 80 minutes, the game was 16-all.
Yeah.
And they played extra time, each half of 15 minutes.
15.
So that's 110 minutes of rugby. 110 minutes of rugby.
Exactly.
I've not seen that in Ugandan rugby. And I mean, guys, going on to the nitty-gritty on the field.
So it's some time back.
I feel like Cobbs had the opportunity to close down this game. I feel like the game was in their hands at certain moments, because look at their forward pack domination. The Heathens did not drive back or even win any scrum against Cobbs if it was the Cobbs feeding the ball.
True.
Cobbs was so dominant in the scrum. One-on-one, the Cobbs were extremely dominant.
Unpacking is in this area, guys, with due respect to the Heathens and the rest of people who support Heathens. The pack of Cobbs this time round, for me, was a little bit tougher. They did not. I felt that Heathens wasn't using their flanks or their wings quite so well, and Heathens consistently insisted on taking on the scrums instead of going for lineouts. Heathens was basically now tired and worn out completely.
Cobbs dominated Heathens at all set pieces, at the lineout, at the scrum. So Cobbs was having a front foot, even when they were carrying the ball in contact. Cobbs gained more meters. Look at Emmanuel Echodu, but notably, there is one player from the Heathens camp I must appreciate, and I don't know if the world out there appreciates him as much. That's Thomas Innocent Gokto.
Yes, Gokto.
That boy will always score. He is a prolific finisher.
But you see, also that day he had a lot of he had a lot of loose games, balls. He kept on losing a lot of balls.
I would say no. I think it was the winger. Well,
I think that there was a lot of sloppiness from both sides.
Yes.
Particularly with the Cobs, they missed two kickable
I mean,
opportunities.
Exactly.
Cobs had the chance
Josiah
to close that
Setake
game.
hitting the post. It was just unfortunate.
How about the one of Okudi?
Guys, witchcraft is real.
But you guys,
Witchcraft
me, I
is
still
real.
have a problem with
Yes.
at the level of rugby that Uganda Cup should be and the Lions Cup should be, that the tournament manual says that after let's say full 80 minutes, then the extra time that we have to maybe consider discipline
toss of
with
the
cards
coin.
and
But you
then
see, guys,
tries,
yeah?
and
Ruben,
then we get into coin toss.
Ruben.
Is that
No,
the
what
next
happened was
tournament?
this. Just a little bit. Let me
Yeah.
help with it. I mean, what happened is this: the tournament manual says
Yes.
after they have all tied with all the full time and whatsoever, all the minutes added. Now you go and look at on the fair play.
Yes.
Fair play meaning who has more yellow cards
More
and
yellow
who has
cards,
yellow.
more red
Now
cards, yes.
both of them had
The same.
the same.
One yellow card.
One yellow card, one
Should
yellow
our
card.
next point of action be a coin toss?
Yes.
There are
That
penalties,
is
drop
no.
goals.
That is what what.
Personally,
That's
I
what
know
think
it is what the
penalties
tournament.
would have
That's what the
I'm not
tournament manual is
disputing-
about.
I'm not disputing the tournament
Yes.
manual. I'm just saying that we could have.
You
we
need-
could have
you-
been treated to. It's a high level game. We cannot
Do
be
you
doing
want
coin
it to
toss.
change? Do you want it to be
It
taken
can't
to
change
penalty?
now, but they should look at it going forward. That
Yes.
we
I
cannot
I think
have
the
in
team
such-
managers should have identified that
Yeah.
and
At least
said, look
drop
here, we
kicks."
don't agree with this.
Yeah,
Because the tournament manual shared with them.
it is so unfair
Is it
for you to lose a game on a
Is
coin
it
toss.
is it the toner? Is it the team managers who chooses the laws of the game?
Anyway, guys.
No.
No,
guys,
it is
each
the
tournament
clubs.
has a different kind of
Exactly.
Guys,
arrangement.
Look here. This weekend, Ethans has a chance to close it early. Avoid tournament manual jazz. Remember, Ethans are so comfortable with winning off the tournament manual. Remember at Kings Park? I think the guys called tournament
No, but
manual.
no. I do want to disagree with you. It's not about being comfortable. It's about two teams coming together. By the way, teams come to a pitch
That's a low
knowing
blow. I'm
they are
just-
going to win. I know.
He was just
They-
being
Jazz.
petty.
I know he's trying to bring banter, which is okay. Teams come to a pitch to play knowing they're each going to win. You understand?
Yes.
Now, for instance, right now, Heathens is going to play Pirates on Saturday. But I can assure you right now, I saw my colleague Lucy, the media officer of Chadondo and Heathens at large, trying to poke the nose of Pirates. I mean, of course, I'm not seeing any kind of a hype of the game, which is okay. But you see, you don't know what Pirates is cooking, and neither don't you know what
Ruben,
Heathens is
Do you think
cooking.
Pirates is cooking?
But would maybe Ruben help us? What are you cooking? Why are you people quiet in your kitchen?
Ruben, do you think
Why is the
Pirates
food
is
not
cooking?
coming out? We are not even seeing any smoke.
I'm not a Pirates fan, but I think
But by virtue of fact, you're
Watching
putting
them
on
playing
rugby
on the
chill.
weekend, what do
no,
you
I'm
like?
a rugby chill fan.
What do you
Those
like?
are two different.
Oh,
things.
shout out to Massa.
If you know what rugby chill is.
Massa, we love you. Rugby chill. You're our guys. Ruben, do
Okay.
you think Pirates are cooking?
They are cooking. They've had a couple of youngsters being ushered into positions.
Man,
and
and-
many.
yeah.
Most notably, a person that has really stepped up has been Sydney Gongodio,
Yeah.
playing at the 8, at the 6, or at the 7 throughout the preliminaries coming into this point, in the absence of the usual starters. So they have a couple of other boys. There's another one called Komakech playing very, very well, good on the line out. So there's been a lot of testing of their players. So, but I also think one of the challenges for Pirates that may bring issues with them is if you look at their journey to the final as compared to Heathens. Heathens has had a tougher route. Pirates has had 2 games, one at Chambogo and 2 games at Kings Park, which means they've had home advantage, even if there is the bureaucracy or the politics of saying that, oh, this team was home.
Which was,
Kings Park is their home.
Yeah.
And they have played Rhinos, they have played Mongers.
Yeah.
And they've had...
And they fumbled against
They have had
Mongers.
some even against Rhinos to a certain extent, they were sleeping, but just that they were able to clean up quick. And I was having a conversation with some of the boys that they cannot afford to have, they don't have that luxury in the final against a team as ruthless as Heathens. Because when Heathens comes to finals, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Those guys play 8-minute
They
rugby.
know how to win. But also, Pirates is a team that knows what Heathens brings, but also they are not scared of them. They respect them as opposition, but they're ready to bring the game to them. So it's going to be a great game.
I think some strength that Pirates has, perhaps you not forget, is that They try sometimes to play a pacey game.
Yeah.
And that is something that the Heathens should address quite so well. Their pack is not as heavier and the back line.
They have added a couple of big boys.
Yes, they have, but I would not be scared of them more than Cobs. That is the reality. If you look at the league right now, because if you're comparing these three teams, I think for me the ones whose pack is so heavy that I would get threatened a bit about is Cobs.
Okay.
Yeah. Pirates, they only have an advantage is the fact that they manage to play a kind of a pacey
Quick
game.
Quick
game. Now, if you have Mr. Boda, Wanyama, on a very good day and he's very fit. And then, of course, you're having the captain, Ivan Magomo. But if I looked at the game that Heathens played against Pirates last season in the league at Kings Park, if that is how Pirates is going to play again, then automatically Pirates should even count it done in the first half of the 40 minutes. That is the reality.
Okay, guys.
One, as I coin up here, Heathens is lucky in such a way that what helped Heathens actually against Cobs is the fact that Heathens has a couple of youngsters in the game. You talked about Innocent Gwokto, but people have forgotten about Kalema. People have forgotten about Okello. There are two Okellos, these youngsters, who even helped Heathens at least win those two trophies of Uganda, over the Rugby 7 circuit. So if you put this combination together, and then you're having Okeny getting back, of course with Aaron Ofoirot, we are not sure whether he's going to play, but
why?
I'm not sure. He can choose to rest.
It's a final. I'm sure they're going to play.
By the way, guys, I've just remembered that Konya is going to be around.
He can choose to rest. Even Michael can choose to rest. Yeah, you understand.
I don't think Michael is not a guy who wants rest. But Michael wants action, bro.
But with or without those two players, Michael and Aaron Ofoirot, even the team that played, the squad that played against Cobs, I think for me is good to go. The only person I feel Heathens is missing is Cyrus Watum. I really felt
guys,
the absence of Cyrus Watum.
What's up with Cyrus Watum anyway?
Guys.
He's injured, but he's recovering.
Let's not deviate from the script. Okay. I'm in control, guys.
Are you?
Guys, the games are going to be in Entebbe.
Yeah.
I want to know, what are your thoughts on Entebbe hosting those games? And what's your prediction of Heathens, Pirates, and Warriors in peace?
Honestly speaking, the fact that there are two teams from Kampala in the finals, Pirates is in Wakiso, but of course the Wakiso closer to Kampala. I would have felt they should have chosen a ground within the center here.
I think they're trying to just take rugby to different locations.
That's what they said also with the women's game. But you see, just going to play rugby in a given place does not actually make rugby remain there. Okay. What happens is after you taking a team to play there, what is the follow-up? You understand?
Yeah.
Do we do needs assessment? We do not do needs assessment. Like for instance, during the rugby sevens, we moved across the country. Do you have any good team from Soroti? But 2 years down the road, we're in Teso. So you understand, the needs assessment and impact assessment has to be done by these guys at the union. So for me, taking rugby to Entebbe, yes, it is good, as you said, but at the same time also, I feel the vibe of rugby, for me, this being final, I would have loved to see it either at Kings Park, or even at Legends, or even at Chad, or even Ginger. Actually, I would love Ginger more. I would love it to go to Ginger.
If you've been at that pitch in Ebbs, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
Two players got injured.
People have been complaining
and with the rainy season,
Paulo Pillow got injured. Kevin Balaga, they got his back messed as well.
And the league is almost starting.
It's terrible.
The National League is almost starting. So for me, I think also they didn't calculate about it somewhere.
Monga's had a nice pitch as well. Leave alone this one where there's a lake view.
Yeah.
You know it?
The one.
I don't think it has.
The one near Maryland.
The one near Maryland.
I don't think it has the capacity to hold the kind of fans that would watch a final.
But at what cost are you're putting players at risk?
You see, you're putting players at risk. You have so many international games coming next year. You also have the teams are going to struggle, fight so hard. There are teams that don't have enough squad. Right now, Pirates itself, they've been struggling with the nursing players, with the injuries. Heathens itself, Cyrus Watumi is still down. Okeny is just coming back. I mean, and so many other players. So, but I think what the union has to do is, how do we maintain facilities of rugby? That is also another issue too. They have to put stringent rules on clubs. Like for instance, you see football is doing in Uganda. If you have a football pitch, you must be responsible to take care of that pitch it must be totally green surface.
Predictions. Heathens, Pirates.
Definitely Heathens is
By
winning.
how many points?
I think I give it 25.
Wow.
By 25?
25-0, yeah?
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. You're not even going
Warriors-
to give them any points.
Warriors Impis.
They're not going to score any points.
I don't
Warriors
give them.
Impis.
Wow.
Why would I
Warriors
give
Impis.
them?
Sarah.
Wow.
Sarah.
Yes, please.
Warriors Impis.
Warriors, Impis. I have not watched the game of Warriors so much, but given the fact that Impis has always been proven to be a very stubborn side, I give it to Impis. Arrogance. And of
Okay.
course, someone is going to say
Interesting.
because I supported the Impis at some time when I was at Makerere. But if you look at the arrogance, the enthusiasm these boys come with, I would definitely go with Impis.
Okay, final. Pirates, Heathens.
Pirates by 5.
Okay. Big call.
15-10 or 20-15, something around there.
Where do you think the game will be won?
I think that there are going to be a lot of penalties in that game, so the kicker that will take the points.
Is it going to be an emotional game?
Definitely.
But
definitely.
what is between Pirates and Heathens? Why that emotion?
It's just pride. I think it's just pride. I mean, from Chadondo and from Kings Park, and these are two teams that honestly are all proud of their background, and two teams that are not used to losing. They don't like losing, so it's going to be a very, very emotional game. And yeah, it's going to be really good.
Guys.
For Impis and Warriors, I'm a bit biased in that one, but I will say I'm not going to give a score, but I'll say Warriors will win somehow.
Okay.
You're going for Warriors.
Before we leave this topic by Adong, I wanted to talk about one thing. That semi-final of Heathens Cobs, from us who are trying to follow the action, because there were a lot of announcements going on that, hey, now this is the score.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that NBS stopped showing the game at 80 minutes?
Are you serious?
And they did not show the extra time.
Really?
So we don't know.
So which game was that people were watching at Kings Park? Because at some point someone shared us on Twitter that you guys were watching a game from Kings Park.
It was shown, only the normal time was shown from minute 0 to minute 80. After extra time was not shown.
Perhaps that was the agreement, but still,
But then that is unfortunate.
Yeah,
You're
it is
not showing the
unfortunate.
whole game, because the vibe we're getting is, okay, now rugby's time was done according to their content time, which is weird. And that's why that for those that saw me tweet that evening, I was like, we need to get someone who is really for rugby. I don't know, maybe there are so many other things that we may not know that happened and the reasons for that game not being completed, but a game of that magnitude, there were so many people from different regions trying to watch that
Ruben
game.
had the chance to watch this game live. He went to Kings Park because he wants what?
No, but it
Because
was
I want to
also
watch.
but it was also his right to go, because
Yes.
if everyone was confined in legends, then wouldn't have been getting this other side of the
Exactly.
story.
Guys, our boys were on tour. Dubai, Cape Town. The tournaments were tough for the boys, I must say. However, regardless, all was not lost. We had Dennis Etwao and us.
As usual, Ugandans shall always celebrate at least for the little.
Yes. No, I don't think Dennis Etwao's success was little.
Do you know why I call it
Because-
the little? Because
Let
we
me
did not
finish.
win
Let me
any
finish.
game.
Let me finish. I'm coming. I think Dennis Etwao belongs on the international scene.
True.
And we saw that he's one player that has the fight in him, has the ability to score, has the defense, alertness, and eagerness. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I believe a coach like Tolbert would want such a player that has the fight. And shout out to the boys. Welcome back home. I think there's so many lessons to learn. And yeah, what do you make of it? There was an article by Summer.
Yeah, I think what I make
What do you
of
make of the two tournaments?
what
Dubai
I
and
make
Cape
of
Town?
this what I make of these tournaments, the one of Dubai Sevens and Cape Town Sevens, is one, it was an avenue to explore more of the talent that we have in Uganda.
Yes.
Because you saw some of the players like Cloud Otema being dropped off.
I think he was injured.
Okeny, yes.
Okeny injured as well.
Yes, Okeny also injured, but whether injured or not injured, I think Tolbert wanted to try out something new. Guys, you remember what happened to us at the World Cup and also at Commonwealth. We have a challenge with our the
Bench.
reserve, the bench.
The bench was not being used, was it?
That was one of
it's
my
not
biggest
being
problems
used
as well.
because it's not being used because you do not have the best to bring out.
But
When
you
will you
see,
get them
You
where
understand?
you
So
want
I
them?
think that's what we're trying to build.
In some invitational tournaments like this,
Yeah.
at some point, if you see it now, like there's a point when USA had over 20, 25 in the first half, give the bench a chance to play. Let them play. Let them get the exposure. Like there's a big gulf between our starting 7 and the people that come on.
Maybe.
How will these people get used? We have had guys like William Corey who has been traveling but rarely playing. But how are we going to know that William Corey can develop? Can he, in the absence of Aaron Ofoiroth, can he really fill those shoes properly?
Yeah.
Has he gotten the exposure of playing against the Fijians or whoever?
For me, I think Ruben, I would want to understand the position of the coach. Maybe perhaps the embarrassment. I mean, there's no coach who would want to be embarrassed because any game is a game. As long as it is an international sanctioned match, you really want to put out your best. But I still want to insist, if we are not given chance to a person like Etwao, people are talking about Etwao. How about Ochieng, Jacob Ochieng?
You see,
he had a very good performance also in South Africa.
Listen, I think Jacob scored a try.
Yeah.
And had some game time, but I think there is room for improvement. You get what I mean? My player of the both tournaments was Dennis Etwao, because I mean he scored the tries, and even the commentators kept saying he's the fastest hippo they've seen running. You get what I mean? And these are people watching him live. I think let's appreciate and give credit where it's due and not appreciate mediocrity. Yes. So I'm appreciating all the players that have played on both tournaments because they have a standard and we'll always hold them to that. But I don't want to say Ochieng was exceptional.
No, he was. I'm also not saying he was exceptional, but what I'm saying is that being his first time to play for the Sevens on such a big stage, and even if you saw that try, how he scored it involved a lot of intelligence, hard work there, maneuvering out with the pace and whatsoever. So I think the Ginger Boys are trying to build up something, but I also don't want to narrate to the Ginger Boys only. But what I want to say is that when I did not see Philip, our star, our international export, so many people were asking me. One, I was looking at the cost implications, but also I was looking at giving these young boys an exposure. Then you look at if you do not have an international calendar given to these international clubs where our players play. So no player cannot just be released like that. So I think now that is where Etwao comes in. Perhaps if they had sanctioned Philip, you would not see Etwao. So I would also want to see another tournament where Michael first remains also home, and then we take another person just to try. But we're not saying like how some other guys were putting out on Twitter that you see the so-called senior players have not done nothing much. So if you drop off Michael, Aaron, you drop off Desire, Ayera, all of a sudden like that, how are these youngsters going to grow? You understand? So we need to mash them up so that we know 5 years time to come, Uganda can compete favorably at World Cup.
Summer ended this article by saying that England sacked their coach Eddie Jones, who had a winning percentage of 73%.
Best percentage of any coach of England ever.
And Coach Tolbert has been with the team for 10 years. Summer, and I want to quote him, he said he's not calling for the dismissal of Coach Tolbert, but he hopes that at least within these 10 years, this is when we are supposed to be reaping the fruits of his developments. You get what I mean? So, Summer seems to say that probably we need to see some decisions being taken, maybe on or off the field, that can give us results at this moment in time.
Like, for
what
instance,
do you think?
The issue is Summer, of course, is entitled to his opinion. You understand?
Do you agree with his opinion?
No.
Why?
I do not agree with his opinion because, one, the opinion entirely drives at perhaps saying that, okay, maybe Tolbert has not given us much. It should be a late. That is how I understand it.
Okay.
But where I would agree with him is that some decisions must be taken on and off pitch. The decisions are simple. Bring in some of the new players. Give them time. Like, for instance, where you quoted, these players who are taken to World Cup, who are taken to the Sevens, Cape Town and Dubai. who are not given space. So why do you summon someone if you're not giving them space to play?
Exactly.
And
You
who is
understand?
in
There I
charge of
agree.
giving them the space?
Of course, it's the coach.
So what? Okay.
It's the coach.
Okay.
So the coach should be able enough to say that, okay, fine. Within 2 years, I want to see this position to be filled by this and this. If you have objectives as the union also.
Okay.
Failure to do that, now that is where we can hold him ransom.
Okay.
But now we cannot hold him ransom because after all, he has even given these other players a chance to explore. And that's why today we're talking about Etwao and we are talking about of Jacob. And I think it's high time. Etwao should be taken off from the 15th national team. He should remain with the 7th.
Wow, guys, it's been a hot podcast, nice discussions, but just like all good things, they always come to an end. Guys, Ruben, what are you doing for Christmas next Sunday?
I told you I have no plans for Christmas yet. You want to invite me?
Sarah, Ruben wants an invite.
And unfortunately, yeah, I can invite him because most probably I'm going to have my Christmas in Kampala because Christmas is going to be a Sunday and Monday I have to be at work. And you know me with work, we are inseparable. So
Yes.
I don't want to give excuses to people who follow me a lot and say, now, we didn't see sports. We didn't watch you. Because as a sportsman are celebrating Christmas, also have to talk about the lifestyle.
Yeah.
How is Ruben going to celebrate his Christmas? Where is Desire Ayera? Where is Ivan?
Guys, from all of us
mean,
at the Fat
yeah.
Cats, we wish you
A
a Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Are you
We
making
wish
us
you
really
a
sing
Merry
right
Christmas.
now?
We
So, guys,
wish you a Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye-bye.